Good evening, folks. This is Deb. So here we are. We're getting ready for a big nor'easter here in Massachusetts, particularly in the Boston area. Um, Tomorrow, it's supposed to be a lot of rain and high winds, the whole 9 yards. So if by chance we lose power and you don't see me tomorrow, it's not that I'm not making videos, it's that I don't have any power to make a video. So if it happens, and it has happened here before, so I'm just giving you fair warning. But I can tell you one thing I'm not doing. I'm not leaving my house tomorrow for anything, okay? No driving anywhere at any time. So, couple things. Couple things. Got some more highlights, and we're going to show that at the end, but interestingly enough, we got some 2025 season highlights tonight because even though Caitlin Clark um, only appeared in 13 games this season, she did do some incredible things. She made the most of the time on the court that she had. Um, and yes, somebody suggested that if it's possible for me to find all the cheap shots she took as a rookie, that video. I did find that. We will be looking at that too, but not tonight. So I do have 2025 video highlights tonight. And for people who say that Stephanie White wants to change her playing style, the fact of the matter is this, okay? These videos, these highlights prove that Caitlin Clark runs the floor when she's out there, okay? And that's the way it is. But Caitlin Clark can't play every single minute of every game because if she does that, she will have a very short career, okay? Even the most elite players need to take the bench once in a while and get a breather, all right? So it's only natural that when Caitlin Clark is not on the floor, the team looks a little bit different because, quite frankly, nobody on this team plays basketball like Caitlin Clark. There's only one point guard that plays like Caitlin Clark, and that's Caitlin Clark. So the team is going to have different looks when she's on the court and another look when she's off the court. So for people who are worried about uh, Ezra Stevens being too slow for Caitlin Clark, well, Ezra Stevens has probably never been asked to play that kind of an up-tempo game. But I think she would be just fine playing with Caitlin Clark. So we all get to adjust to each other, and we'll see where it goes. It may not be her. It may be Hannah Stuelke. It could be that she doesn't go high up in the draft. She played with Caitlin Clark before. They played great together. Um, she's not going to go as a high pick. We already know that. And the Fever doesn't have a high pick, so we'll see where it goes. It could very well end up being her. We don't know anything right now. Okay, there's all kinds of speculation out there. There's already videos about what players are leaving. We don't know. Um, we could take a guess at some of them, and this team is not going to look the same in 2026. Okay, some components of it may be the same, but it's not going to be the same team that got into the semifinals this year. Okay, so um, however, that all being said, I came upon a video today from Ariel Powers, and it's called My Love Letter. And it is basically just the way she felt about playing for the Indiana Fever this year. And, she's not the only person that's been out there on social media and on YouTube saying this. We sit on the outside looking in, right? And sometimes we listen too much to what people say. The toxicity in the clubhouse. I don't believe there's been any of that. I actually think the Indiana Fever has a very special thing going among their players, and I think it's part of the culture. It's just the way it is, okay? And Caitlin Clark has alluded to that. She respects the Fever organization. She has said that. And I'm going to just play you just a tiny clip of this because I've got the clip up, the section up where she basically starts off, and I'm going to put the video in so you can see it, but she basically starts off thanking everybody for the opportunity for having been on this team this year to be able to go through this and to play with with the players on the Fever and get to know them and be sisters with them. Uh, and then she interviews a few players. You know, she starts, I believe, she started with Sophie Cunningham. She interviews Aaliyah Boston, asks questions, and she does talk to Caitlin Clark. And I actually have that up. So let's take a quick look at that.
We look great. How you feeling?
Feeling good.
Yeah. How was the ankle? Everything doing?
Doing better. Feeling good.
Of course, we wanted you to be here. But I have a question, right? You've been here in the beginning, and you've seen the ins and outs, us coming in as news pieces, the team consistently trying to get better and better, especially without you. You know how we feel about that. You know what you do for us in the game. So when you look from the outside looking in, what were some of the things that kind of surprised you and also some of the things that made you proud?
Man, I don't think anything necessarily surprised me just because I know the type of people that we've had in this locker room over the course of the 2 years. And obviously there was some changeover from year 1 to year 2, but you know, the core of this group and what this organization is about has always been the same. And I think that's what made it so easy for players like you or Shay or O or you know, whoever we brought in through the course of the season, you know, they instantly felt welcomed and they loved it and they had a really good time. And I feel like that's been about every player's experience with this organization. So, you know, every player that's come in and you especially, like, you've made it so fun and we've loved having you. And, you know, obviously not everybody can stay because we had 17 people on our team. So no matter who it is, like, you know, you cherish those memories you got to spend with each other.
Facts. And I got a question, a personal question, because listen, what y'all don't know is DJ CC. I got a question. How long have you, like, because you love getting the aux and actually you do it, I'm not going to lie, she does a really good job.
Yeah, ask everybody on the team. I'm legit on the aux.
No, I think you are pretty good on the aux because it's
that's what I'll do in the off season. I'll become a DJ.
DJ / golfer.
Those are my two hobbies.
Are you the DJ when you at the crib, like when y'all have family functions?
Yeah, some people don't. I mean, not as much as in the locker room, honestly. But yeah, I feel like I'm an aux, but maybe I'm just like sometimes a control freak. I don't know.
Well, I appreciate you for being on the vlog, man. And I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for making me feel welcome.
Appreciate you, homie. You were awesome.
So, you know, I'm tired of hearing all the naysayers out there talking about like they know what actually goes on in the Indiana Fever locker room. Because the only people that know what go on in the Indiana Fever locker room are the Indiana Fever players. And I actually, uh, I actually think they have a pretty good culture. Okay, and so, uh, like I said, you're always going to hear trash talking out there, and my suggestion is you listen to what comes out of the players' mouths. You don't listen to come out of what comes out of content creators' mouths unless they can back it up with evidence. It's just, it just doesn't make any sense. I think the Fever managed to transcend and be resilient through a lot of adversity this year. You know, everybody was saying if they could just get through the first round, you know, they wouldn't lose any ground over what they were able to do the year before. Well, they went all the way into the semifinals and they went all the way to the fifth game before they lost. Okay. And, you know, I kept saying as the players progress, as they get further in, it's going to get more and more difficult. But, you know, I think if they'd had Caitlin Clark back, maybe Sydney Colson back, and maybe Sophie Cunningham back, the Indiana Fever could have contended for a championship this year. Okay? I'm just saying. All right? And I know I know, I'm not going to be popular when I say this, but I believe Stephanie White is not going anywhere. I would be very surprised if she got fired at the end of the season or if her contract wasn't renewed. Um, and I think to a man, everybody likes playing with her. I don't think Caitlin Clark has ever had a problem with her. I think Caitlin Clark feels like she can learn from her. And, you know, Caitlin Clark, as I've said in previous videos, is still in the development phase of her WNBA life. Okay. College was college and it was awesome. Okay. It was awesome. And she came into the WNBA and she proved that she belonged here. Okay. But just because she had a record breaking rookie season doesn't mean her learning stops. Okay. She has a long career ahead of her in the WNBA, and the WNBA is not college basketball. Okay. It is not in any way, shape, or form college basketball. It is an entirely different ball game. Okay. There's no matter what, there's no denying it. Okay, it's not the same. College baseball isn't the same as the major leagues. Okay, college football isn't the same as the NFL, and women's college basketball is not the same as the WNBA. Okay, so Caitlin Clark, I don't know why anybody would be upset by it. Doesn't know it all yet. Okay, she doesn't. And you just think about this. She's going to continue to get better. And sometimes I say to myself, how much better can she possibly get? But you know what? I bet you any amount of money that she will get better. She will learn, she will grow, she will understand better how the league works, how the players work. And I believe Caitlin Clark will be a dominant force in the WNBA for many years. And it will be because she doesn't think she knows it all. Okay. The great players never stop learning. Okay. And that's true in life too. All right. So, um, other than that, I haven't heard much of anything um, going on in the WNBA right now. I think it's a lull period. We know the CBA expires on the 31st. Um, I know Adam Silver has been out there saying there will not be, he will do everything he can. There will not be a lockout. I don't believe there will be a lockout. A lot of people are just, in the doom and gloom mode. We're going to lose a whole season, blah, 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 blah. You know what? It doesn't benefit anyone to have that happen right now in a period of high growth. Okay, so the two sides will come together and nobody's going to get everything they want. Nobody ever does when it comes to a collective bargaining agreement. There's always some stuff that gets left on the table for the next go around. But I believe that they will come to an agreement. Everybody wants to play. And, you know, no matter what anyone says, Unrivaled is not a substitute for the WNBA. Athletes Unlimited is not a substitute for the WNBA. They are a diversion. Okay? They're a diversion. Somebody said to me, um, well, it's all about the money. Well, this is the United States. We live in a highly capitalistic society. Of course, it's about the money. I mean, why do you think people start basketball leagues? Why do you think people like Ice Cube start his own 3-on-3 league and make those kinds of investments? Because he knows he's going to make 10 times more than that at the end of the day. Why did Breanna Stewart and Navisa Collier start Unrivaled? It's because they're part owners and they're making money on it. That's what it's all about. These people are making money in the off season. Just saying, folks, I don't understand. Of course, it's all about the money. You're going to run a business to not make money? It's a business. Everything's a business. The United States is a business right now. So let's get real. We know it's about the money. We know. This is capitalism, folks. So I don't know what you want me to say. Yes, it is about the money. Now, I still like my power forward choice. Okay. I was talking about this with somebody else today. But, you know, somebody also brought up Hannah Stolke, and you know what? I would have no problem with Hannah. So we'll see where this goes. I know that they can't make any qualifying offers until January to any of their players. So people will, you know, scatter themselves, go back home, do what they do. Caitlin Clark will take a week off. Then she's going to start talking about Team USA and playing in the qualifying rounds. And that'll be exciting to see. Okay. We'll see where she goes in the off season to get herself ready for the 2026 season. But I have no doubt that she'll be ready at the very beginning of the season. And I've got some highlights here from this season. Okay, this past season. Again, it's narrated, but it's not as annoying. And it proves to me Caitlin Clark was playing her game. Right? Nobody is trying to change Caitlin Clark's game. Okay, I don't believe that for a nanosecond. All right, Caitlin Clark was playing her game in these highlights. This is Caitlin Clark's game. So we're going to take a look at those, and then we'll come back. I won't show them all, of course, but you will be able to see the video afterwards.
WNBA season. She bent the rules of what we thought was possible. As the Fever's playoff run captivated millions, Clark delivered moments that left analysts speechless and defenders questioning their life choices. Here are 15 plays that nearly shattered the game itself. Number 15, the impossible angle assist versus New York Liberty, June 15, 2025. Picture this. Clark rips down a contested rebound, her head already 3 moves ahead. What happens next defies geometry. She fires a laser-guided pass through a closing window barely 6 inches wide, hitting her teammate in perfect stride. The degree of difficulty? Most point guards wouldn't even attempt this. The angle required instantaneous trigonometric calculation, perfect weight distribution, and the audacity to believe it would work. Clark executed it like she was passing salt at dinner. The Fever stunned the unbeaten Liberty 102-88. But this single play was the seismic shift, a declaration that new rules applied when number 22 touched the ball. Number 14, the full court vision versus New York Liberty. Against the same undefeated Liberty squad, Clark orchestrated what can only be described as basketball telepathy. From half court, surrounded by defenders closing in like sharks, she delivered a State Farm assist of the game to Aaliyah Boston. The brilliance wasn't just the pass, it was the setup. Clark used a subtle head fake to freeze one defender, a shoulder dip to create separation from another, then released the ball before her teammate even made her final cut. She saw the future and threw the pass there. 9 assists in an upset victory. Defenders left searching for answers in the film room. Just another Tuesday for CC. Number 13, the double steal clinic versus Connecticut Sun. Clark turned into a defensive menace against Connecticut, recording consecutive steals that showcased her underrated defensive instincts. The Fever cruised to an 88-71 win, but these 2 plays revealed another dimension. First, steal. She read the point guard's eyes, not the ball, anticipating the pass destination. Her explosive first step put her in the passing lane before the defender realized the danger. Second steal, feeding Kelsey Mitchell for an easy layup, Clark displayed the defensive footwork most guards spend years developing. She stripped the ball cleanly, maintained possession through contact, and transitioned seamlessly to offense. The crowd erupted. The Suns' coaching staff called timeout. Clark just smiled. Number 12, the alley-oop illusion versus Atlanta Dream. In a heartbreaking 91-90 loss to Atlanta, Clark delivered a play that deserved a better fate. Late in the game, she threw what appeared to be a lob pass, except it kissed the net and dropped through. An accidental basket? Watch again. The arc was too perfect, the backspin too precise. Clark threw a pass with the exact trajectory needed to score, camouflaging her intention until the ball splashed through. Defenders froze, confused whether to contest or intercept. She finished with 27 points and 11 assists, setting multiple franchise records in a losing effort. Sometimes genius doesn't need a victory lap to be recognized. Number 11, the needle-threading masterclass versus Chicago Sky. The Fever demolished Chicago 93-58, and Clark's triple-double, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists was statistical poetry. But one assist to Lexi Hull transcended numbers. Under full-court pressure, Clark identified a passing lane that technically didn't exist. 3 defenders formed a human wall. Hull was barely open. Physical laws suggested the pass was impossible. Clark threw it anyway. A bullet through a keyhole spinning perfectly into Hull's shooting pocket. The Sky's defense never recovered. Neither did their confidence. Number 10, the step-back dagger versus Atlanta Dream. Clark buried Atlanta with an 81-76 victory, punctuated by a deep three-pointer that showcased her complete offensive arsenal. But the highlight wasn't just the shot. It was the move before. Her step-back created so much separation the defender nearly needed a GPS to find her. The footwork was balletic. Planted foot, explosive push-off, perfect balance landing. Then the shot, high arc, textbook backspin, swish. She finished with 13 points, 7 assists, and 3 threes. The defender who got crossed? Still searching for his ankles somewhere near the three-point line. Number 9, the homecoming bomb versus Brazil national team. In a 108-44 demolition of Brazil's national team, Clark saved the most disrespectful shot for the exact spot where she shattered NCAA scoring records. Late third quarter, game already decided, Clark launched from 36 feet. The logo 3 heard round the world. The audacity alone should have been a technical foul. The precision was surgical. The message was clear. This is my house. Brazil's defenders could only watch. The crowd lost their minds. Clark jogged back with that signature smirk that says, "Did you expect anything less?" Number 8, the season opener statement. Opening night. National spotlight. Clark's first shot of the season, a casual 28-footer that set the tone for everything to follow. The mechanics were textbook perfection. Feet squared, knees bent, release point higher than most players can reach. But the swagger, that was pure Clark. She pulled up like she was at a pickup game, drained it without breaking stride, and jogged back with a smirk. Defenders immediately realized this was going to be a long season.
So there's still plenty of highlights left for you guys to watch, but it was good to find at least one video that had some highlights from this year. Because I think Caitlin Clark came into the season in midseason form. I just think she got derailed by injuries. And I don't think sorry that her injuries had anything to do with the way she cuts or the way she worked out in the off season. You know what? Groin pulls happen in basketball. It's soft tissue injuries happen. People get injured all the time in professional sports. It doesn't matter what sport it is. They get injured all the time. It's part of the game. I think that, had she not gotten injured, I think she would have had a year where she could have had double doubles every night, literally. And I expect that's what we might see when she comes back in 2026. In fact, I think that's exactly what we will see when she comes back in 2026. And I don't know if anybody heard this, just on a personal note, I believe Aaliyah Boston was engaged yesterday. So her boyfriend did propose, I believe. I saw a short story about that somewhere. I'll see if I can find it and put it in. But that's where we are tonight, gang. Not much going on, but I've had somebody request a little bit of information about, so somebody who's new to basketball, that came to basketball because of watching Caitlin Clark and wanting to understand more about the sport. Okay, how the sport is played, what each position player does, what a center does, what a power forward does, what a small forward does, what a guard does, what's a shooting guard versus a playmaking guard or a point guard. So yeah, I think that would be a good thing. I'm hoping other people are up for that, and I will certainly start working on that from and you know uh, from a standpoint of maybe showing some video to visually explain what the sport's about. And like I said, I'm one of those people who doesn't believe I know everything. So anyone else who wants to help out with that, I welcome it. Okay. So as I get into that little shindig, if I'm missing anything, please feel free to add in the comments. And what we will do is we'll go back in and make another video and update information that you folks feed me. Um, so that's where we are. I will be back tomorrow for sure. It should be a fun-filled day here. It's gonna be nasty. I can hear it pouring outside right now, and I can hear the wind picking up. So um, let's keep our fingers crossed that I don't lose power. Okay, I did the last time we had one of these, but that doesn't mean it's gonna happen all the time. Okay. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Both videos, by the way, the one of Ariel Powers will also be in here because she not only talks to Caitlin Clark, but she talks to Aaliyah Boston. She talks to Kelsey Mitchell. She talks to Sophie Cunningham. It's like a 46-minute video. I know it seems like it's long, but it was really actually quite a good video. I enjoyed watching it. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great night.